Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 30 of what if Naruto was neglected by everyone. Remember to share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. Remember to like and comment down below. And also, go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Was a Badass Genius that I posted on this channel. And enjoy that guys. And over on Anime King 2, I posted a new episode of What If Naruto Was Banished and gathered all of the Jinchurikis. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. I also posted a new episode of What If Naruto Was a Deceitful God. So go ahead and enjoy it as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and press that subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado guys, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last spot we left off, Naruto faced off against Guy. As the both of them start their battle, Naruto has become the new 10-tail host, the 10-tail Jinchuriki, as Guy enter the 8 gates. Guy was moving with incredible speed, even stepping on air to reach Naruto. As Naruto was surprised to see how strong Guy was, as Naruto declared Guy the strongest. As the both of them started their battle, destroyed the area around them, everyone had to move back. But Naruto decided to show him the power that he possessed. As Naruto Susanoo flared to life, as Guy, his entire body lit up with a red aura, as it transformed into a dragon. As Naruto brought up his swords, as him and Guy clashed together, that created a boom that echoed through the area. When the explosion died down, Guy, half of his body's upper half was all that remained. As Naruto emerged, as Naruto won the battle, with a few bruises here and there, but his body was healing at a rapid pace. As Naruto told the Konoha Shinobis, their time hasn't come yet, and with that he vanished along with Menma and Liz, as he brought them to a strange place, with a coffin in the center, as they were a bit creeped out. As they saw the coffin with all kinds of seals on it, as Naruto removed the seal from the coffin, it exploded outwards as Kaguya Otsutsuki emerged. As Naruto had used a lot of chakra to unseal the binding that the Sage of Six Paths put on it, which was a very incredible seal. As Kaguya was confused, as she wondered who let her out of this seal, out of this way, as she thought that Zetsu was supposed to be here with her. She was supposed to get all the information on what is going on in the world right now, but Zetsu was not here. As Menma and Liz tried to trap her from behind, but Kaguya here quickly grabbed the both of them. As Naruto pushed this attack beyond the limit to freeze time, even though he did it 2 times already, but he was able to do it. As Naruto grabbed onto Kaguya, as she tried to stop him, but he absorbed her into himself, sealing her inside of him, as her power exploded inside of him outwards. As Naruto's body erupted, as he started to shake, as he sent Menma and Liz away. As Liz started to get angry, as she said why the hell would he send them away? And then, the ripples started to break open again, as a cocoon emerged. When the cocoon cracked, a light went up into the sky that teared through the very fabric of space, as a presence watched over the entire place. As 2 beings were on the planet, as they felt it, as they looked up in the sky, as they muttered a name, Kaguya Otsutsuki. Meanwhile, Naruto emerged as he was different. He was wearing a long white kimono as 2 horns were in his head, as his Renin Sharingan eyes were pulsating, and he had long flowing white hair. As Liz rushed up to him and asked him if he's the same, as he turned to her and gave her a nod, as they were happy to know that this hasn't changed him. as Naruto then felt something pull on his subconscious as he allowed it to take him. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new episode. We begin this with the sage as he stood in front of Naruto, as neither of them had said a word to each other yet. The sage just stood there looking at Naruto, and Naruto did the same, as Naruto had his eyes staring at him as Rinnegan met Ren's Sharingan. The sage then spoke. "What even are you now?" he asked. Naruto looked at his hands. "To tell you the honest truth, I don't really know." "Are you even the same boy who I talked to a while ago?" the sage asked him, as Naruto was still focusing on his hands. "I don't know," he said. "I know I still have the feelings of Naruto. I still have piece of Naruto Uchiha in here. All of his feelings and his emotions. That is what is holding this together. But I have ascended to something else. This amount of power, this negative raw emotion from the Jube, and this emotion from your mother Kaguya, it has changed me a lot. I no longer see the world in the way I used to. That part of me does not desire to destroy Konoha, but yet Uchiha Naruto has this burning sensation to make them pay. With all this power now, I can do it. You know that, right?" Naruto said. "And I will not let Uchiha Naruto be sad." The sage narrowed his eyes at Naruto. "Who am I talking to?" he asked. As Naruto narrowed his eyes back. "You can call me what you please, Naruto, or even God. Because the power I have within me now, I don't think that I'm a mere mortal. This world is corrupted to the bone. With these eyes now I can see everything clearly, and they have changed my prospects and my views on this world. And I will work it out soon enough," he said. "What are you even planning?" the sage asked. "Do you know why your mother was building the army of white Zetsus?" Naruto asked back. "Yes. She told me and my brother a long time ago. She wasn't from this planet, and there were some other beings coming for her. Yes, Otsutskis, powerful ones indeed. I believe they will come to Earth. So with this power, you should be grateful. You desire peace on this Earth, but if they come, and I were to fail, they would turn this place into a wasteland. So you should be grateful and stop acting all high and mighty. The Sage of Six Paths, your name is nothing more than an echo now. Uchiha Naruto, or whatever you might call me. My name will rule over all and be at the top of everything. Do you really think that you can contain all that power?" the sage asked. As Naruto looked at his hands. "I know exactly what you're talking about," Naruto said. "I feel it. If I don't learn, if I slip up a bit, I might eradicate everything in front of me. Just by overthinking things. But my will is far stronger than you imagine. The Jube will not control me, or neither will your mother. I have turned the both of them into nothing but my pawns to use as I wish. And that is how it will go." "And how do you know that?" the sage asked. "Because I said so," Naruto said, raising his voice. "I already told you. You have no talk here. You're nothing but a ghost right now. A mere spirit that already left this world a long time ago. Stop interfering with matters, or you will come to regret it." "And what exactly do you mean by that?" the sage asked. "With these powers, there's no telling what I can do," Naruto said. As a wave of pure energy washed out of him, it struck the sage back. The sage was surprised. In here, he was just an aspect, a remnant, but he felt that. How was that even possible? And with that, Naruto closed his eyes. Naruto opened them to find Liz right in front of him. As she pulled back her fist like she was about to punch him, she thrust her fist forward to punch him right on the shoulder. But Naruto grabbed her hand. "What are you doing?" he said. "I was trying to wake you. I was shaking you all along now, but you won't wake up." Yeah, what the hell just happened? Asked Menma. It was a Sage of Six Path, Naruto said. The, the Sage of Six Path? Yes. Recently, he has been coming to me, Naruto said. He wanted to talk about the fate of the world. Wait, you mean the guy that is known as a god amongst all shinobis? Not anymore, Naruto said. As he started to walk off. Hey, where you going? Asked Liz. Home, Naruto said. Time skip. A few minutes later, Naruto and Liz and Menma arrive in front of the village of the sound. The place seemed broken down if you look from the outside, as it seemed like a normal, small village. But Naruto raised his hand as he held them together. Disappear, he said. Suddenly, there was a crack around the entire village. It was like a glass that shattered, and what emerged was something surely beautiful. The genjutsu was broken, as everyone could see the village for what it truly is right now. People from the outside could not see it for what it is, but when you came inside, there was tall buildings that were even far taller than the Hokage's tower. The place looked luxurious. The place looked fancy and luxurious. There was a tall building, a tall one, that almost reached up to the clouds. That was Naruto headquarters. The moment Naruto dispelled the genjutsu, 5 guards landed right in front of him. Who are you? They said, as they looked at him dangerously. But then they noticed Menma and Liz, as they narrowed their eyes at the man in front of them. Even though his appearance looked different, they all shuddered as they got down to their knees. As they bowed respectfully. Naruto-sama, forgive us. Your appearance looks so different, they said. It is forgiven, Naruto said. As he got up. Sir, one of them spoke. Does this mean our village is now broadcast? He asked. Yes. We have nothing else to wait for, Naruto said. As he walked away inside the village with Menma and Liz just following behind him. Naruto walked through the streets of the sound. As the people saw him, they first looked at him and they were confused. They always noticed to see Menma and Liz walking with him, Naruto, but who was this guy? Some of them thought at first. But on closer inspection, they noticed it was their leader. Naruto-sama, most of them greeted with a smile on their face, as Naruto greeted them back with a smile. It seems you look rather different, and everyone finds it difficult to recognize you, said Liz. It seems that way, Naruto said. Perhaps I shall change that soon enough. As he continued to walk towards his main headquarters. When he arrived at a large building, Guren was at the entrance waiting for him. Ah, Naruto-sama, she said. I see that you have finally opened up the village. Yes, Naruto said to her. As she looked at his appearance. What happened? She asked. I have went through some changes recently. Tell the ninjas that they no longer need to be on standby. The missions can proceed peacefully. The sound has nothing more to keep silent, Naruto said. As Guren nodded. Gather up all of the main heads in 1 hour. And the daimyo, I wish to talk to them all, Naruto said. As Guren nodded as she headed off. As Naruto turned back to look at Menma and Liz. I have some personal business to deal with, he said. Menma, how is the training along with the juniors coming? Well, it's coming quite good, said Menma. If you were to rank them now, I would say they are currently at Chunin level, even though they're just kids. And each one of the adults will be at a low Kage's level. Good enough for the army, Naruto said. As he then looked at Liz. What about Sasuke and the others? Well, Sasuke has been training to get stronger. Ever since you told him that you will allow him to fight Danzo and get his revenge, he has been training. He's also getting a bit impatient, saying that you have his brother's eyes, and you want them to achieve the next level. I see, Naruto said. I will handle that. I will see you two in an hour at the meeting, he said. Yeah, the both of them said, as he walked off. Liz then looked at Menma. Is it just me, or is he acting a bit different? Yeah, he is acting a bit different, said Menma. I wonder if it's just because of the amount of power and the changes that he went through recently. But he seemed like the same Naruto. But he doesn't smile anymore, said Liz. Well, he hasn't had anything to smile for recently, he said. I'm sure he will be back to normal sooner than later, said Menma. Hey, what about Konan? Asked Liz. Well, Naruto has been talking to her, and he said that she is going to join the ranks. Huh, really? Yeah, I don't really know how, but he managed to convince her. And yeah. Do you trust her? Asked Liz. Well, she wasn't a bad person. She was just being misguided and corrupted by Madara. Well, not even Madara, Obito. Pain was being corrupted and she was following under the same suit. But she's completely loyal. You can imagine that from seeing her with Pain. So if we got her on our side, she will be loyal as well. I guess you're rightly said. Meanwhile, Konan was sitting down and she was reading a book. As she could feel something strange heading towards her cell. What is that, she wondered. The power felt strange. She couldn't comprehend it. She didn't know if it was too weak or too strong. There was just something about it, the power was being masked, but it was like it was too much to be masked. Suddenly, the door to her room then opened. Stepping inside was a man that she's never seen before. As he had long, black hair. He had brown eyes. He was wearing one of those sound headbands. As he was wearing one of those Jonin uniform. As he looked at Konan. Can I help you? She said. As he was just looking at her. I am afraid to inform you that Naruto-sama has died in battle. What? Konan said. Yes. He told me if this was to come true, I must give you these informations, he said. As Konan looked stunned at hearing that news. After all that, she said, he just goes and die? After all that promises and everything, what about Madara? She asked. Naruto-sama failed to defeat Madara. Naruto told me to give you this information because of the plan that Madara is going through. What information? Asked Konan. Madara is planning on using the infinite Tsukuyomi to put everyone under a genjutsu. Naruto-sama told me to ask you if he shall perish, if you will fight alongside the Sound and help them try to take down Madara, even though he wasn't enough to take them down. With the combined forces of all of you working together, with you leading his army as one of his generals, would you work? He also told me to give you the option that you can leave, and there will be no backlash. So what do you have to say? He asked. As Konan seemed to think about this for a moment, as she was having an inner struggle with all of that he promised to her. All of this special future of peace and all that. Yet again, something happened and someone in her life died. She was all alone for the most part of her life until she met them, Nagato and Yaiko. And they were planning on changing the world. Change this world into something new and wonderful. Something that could bring pure peace. But they died before it could ever be achieved. And then he came along and told her that he will achieve peace in another way. And if he had joined her, Nagato and Yaiko, their goal, their dream, would not vanish. It will stay within her and she will achieve peace for all of them. But now all of that hope was lost as she just looked there stunned. She didn't even want to move, as she didn't know what to say. But she couldn't allow Madara to just take over the world and put them all under genjutsus. And also, he had told her that he wanted to change his world. Naruto Uchiha. He wanted to bring peace even though it's in his own corrupted way. I will, she said. I will fight along. But she stopped as she saw the man's appearance in front of her start to change. As his eyes were replaced with the Rinnegan, but they were different. They had strange colors in them, like the Sharingan. And his long black hair turned white. And his horns protruded out of his head, 2 horns. And his clothes turned into a white kimono that reached down to his feet, with normal sandals on his feet. As he looked at her, she looked closely. It was Naruto. Even though he has changed, his face has changed a bit, but it was him. Naruto? What happened to you? She said. I told you that I would ascend, Naruto said to her. Yes, you did, but into what exactly have you ascended into? She asked. Something beyond mere mortals, he said to her. I just wanted to see what you would do in case of my death. So this was all just a plan to see what would I do if I betray you or what, she asked. Exactly, Naruto said. And I'm happy. Happy, she said. Yes, because you decided to stand with my friends and everyone else to protect the zone. I'm happy for that. As Naruto opened the door, it's time, he said. Time, she said to him. I gave you free reign around the village. You can walk and go as you please. Really? She asked him, looking at him. How do you know I won't try to escape? That is something I cannot see happening. And why is that? She asks. It's because I trust you. She froze for a moment. You trust me? Why? I don't know, but I do, he said. There is going to be a meeting in 1 hour. I want you to attend. Roman, he said, as the man came inside. Please show Conan around the Sound Village and show her where the meeting is being held. The man gave a small bow as Naruto turned to leave. Wait, Conan said. So what now? She asked. I can tell that you have gotten a lot stronger. So, you have achieved the power that you wanted. What are you planning on doing now? I made you a promise to get you revenge on Danzo. Sasuke Uchiha also want revenge on him as well. He made Itachi Uchiha slaughter the Uchiha clan after all. As Conan didn't look fazed by that news as she just looked at Naruto. So, he will want piece of the action to take down Danzo. And how exactly are you going to get Danzo away from Konoha? Are you going to take on Konoha by yourself? She asks. I will walk in there and retrieve him, he said. She got up and walked towards him. Just because you changed, do you really think that you're that strong? Naruto gave a small smirk as he placed a hand on her shoulder. Her eyes went wide. What she was feeling was something she couldn't describe, as she couldn't understand this feeling. Was this power? As she could feel his power source, what he has been holding back. To her, she was like a drop of water into a massive ocean. That was how much of her power that it couldn't even comprehend to his. As she felt it felt endless, like it was on no limit. She moved back away from him with a shocked expression on her face. Sorry if I overwhelm your system, Naruto said. As she huffed a bit. I'm fine, she said. What have you become? She asked him. A lot of people have been asking me that lately, Naruto said. Perhaps you can call me God. As she didn't find that statement to be outrageous because what she just felt is beyond anything that a human could do. I will see you soon, Naruto said, as he left. About 30 minutes later, we found Naruto in an empty valley. As he was far away from the Sound Village and any other village, he was now wasteland. His power has been misbehaving. He could feel it, the sage was right. This was something he will need to learn to contain. The power was so much, he could feel it moving inside of him, wanting to be released, wanting to take on something powerful. For now, he will restrain it with seals to hold back himself. But every now and then he has to do something like this. The entire area started to shake as every stone on the ground, every debris, the dust, everything started to be picked up as a black, dark aura started to surround Naruto. He raised his hand into the sky as he released a primal scream. A pure amount of chakra that started to shoot from his body. It erupted in the sky as it washed over the entire place. His chakra spread thin around the entire planet that surrounded it. Meanwhile, Minato was in his office as he felt something strange. The system was potent with chakra, but this was something else. as everyone in Konoha could feel it. Chakra, it was a lot of it, even the civilians could feel it. This is what they would feel chakra feel like, because when shinobis were fighting or something, you could feel the residue of chakra, but this was something else. Even though they don't see any source nearby, it felt so potent and strong. It spread all around the entire nation. Kiri, the stone, the sand. Everyone could feel it, Kumo. Meanwhile with Naruto, he settled down himself. Even after doing that, the chakra inside of him, still, it felt like it had no limit. He placed his hand on his chest as a seal. A circular seal appeared as it spread out all over his body, as he contained himself and took a deep breath in and out. The power inside of him was wild. It was like an uncontrollable beast that if he doesn't control would tear everything apart. But he knows soon enough he will have to let it loose to face what is to come. But a battle on that scale might even destroy the entire planet if he went too wild. But it will not be him alone. He looked at both of his hands. As he could feel it, he had both yin and yang chakra. He also had the ability, the creation above all. As he was going to use his power, he was going to do something. He was going to be the only one fighting. When he was in that state, when he was becoming this being, there was a part of him telling him that he could not do everything by himself. He had friends. He had family. And the power he possessed now, he could make them great. Not as him, but make them great. An hour later, Naruto was in the meeting hall as 5 of his top shinobis, they were the generals of his armies, the 5 of them. Konan was there. There was also Menma and Liz. The 5 generals were standing across to the side. The daimyo of Sound Country was there as well. His name was Cole. The man had been grateful for Naruto. With Naruto funding, Naruto was able to bring the land of sound to something else and transform the land into a beautiful place. But Naruto kept it on hold. But today, he released everything, showing the real state of the place. Cole was surprised to see the village. The village was in a wonderful state that he loved. And the land of stone was even relishing because of Naruto and his profits. As Naruto had 100% control over Gato's mining and shipping company, which bring in a lot of cash. This took 3 years to do, but everything was on right now. As Naruto looked over his most high standard people right now, he looked at all of them that smiled as Guren was also sitting there. The time has come, Naruto said. Sound no longer needs to hide. We can show what we have developed over the past few years. We will bring everything to the light. What is with the change? Asked Cole. I am grateful and all, but what happened? And you as well. Your appearance has changed a lot. I am aware of that, Naruto said. I have currently absorbed all of the tailed beasts. It turned me into what you see in front of you. But not only that. The Sage of Six Paths, Naruto said, as they all looked at him. As Cole was confused as hell. The Sage of Six Paths was a man who gave humans chakra, Naruto said. Are you talking about a god? Cole asked. As one of the lieutenants looked at Naruto. The Sage of Six Paths? Isn't that just a myth? It's quite real. The Sage of Six Paths has a mother. Her name is Kaguya Osusuke. You can call her an alien. She's not from this planet. I was able to find her and absorb her. If you imagine the Sage of Six Paths' power, he fought his mother but he could not kill her. She was a being beyond anything. I have absorbed her and all the tail beasts as well, giving me this new granted power, Naruto said. Whoa. If this Sage of Six Paths is really that powerful, said Cole, then how strong are you right now? I cannot tell, said Naruto, but let's just say I'm strong. You're even acting different, Cole said. Is this power messing with your head or something? As Menma and Liz leaned in, because they want to hear this part. as he's been acting different, as Konan noticed that they want to hear as well, as she was also curious, even was Guren and the lieutenants. I am the same old Naruto, he said, a smile. I must say I have changed. One of those reasons being, a part of me no longer desired the destruction of Konoha. What? Guren said. Ever since we met, that was what drove you. To get revenge on those bastards for what they did to you, and now you just want to leave them alone? She's right, said Konan. Do you really want to leave them now? After all that you have told me, after all that you have talked to me about? As Menma and Liz were thinking the same thing. I said a part of me, said Naruto. Uchiha Naruto is still a part of me. I have all of his feelings and all of his emotions. One of the lieutenants spoke up. Sir, the way you speak, it's like you are no longer Uchiha Naruto. It's different, Naruto said. I don't think it's something you can comprehend. I am on a place right now where I feel that my body, my entire existence, is spreading through everything. I can feel the chakra all around. It's like it was all once a part of me. But I will not allow Uchiha Naruto to suffer. I will get his revenge. I am still him after all. As he then gave one of his famous cheeky smiles. Don't worry, Menma and Liz. We are still family. I am still the same Naruto you knew back then. Konoha will pay for what they did. But this meeting is about the sound. We have nothing to hide from anymore. I have no doubts that Konoha will try to attack us with all of their might. They're currently having a Kage meeting. I will be attending it to talk to them. Will you fight? Asked Konan. No, Naruto said. I will just be talking to them. Naruto then looked at Cole. You can remove all of the restraints. No longer will you have to keep the missions a secret for the Sound Village. People can now see the Sound Army. Allow them to proceed. Cole nodded. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Jiraiya burst in through the window as Minato was sitting there. Jiraiya, what happened? Minato asked. It's the sound. What about the sound? It was as we fear. That was the reason why we could not find Naruto. What do you mean? Asked Minato. He was really there. The sound has gone through some greatly changes. It was like genjutsu, fogging the place so that we couldn't see inside. The real interior of the place is being shown. It is nothing like when Orochimaru ruled the place. It has become a beautiful open place. The walls are even taller than Konoha, and the towers in there are massive, reaching up near to the clouds. I believe this is what Naruto has been working on for the past 3 years. But how? In order to do something like that, you need money. Where would Naruto get that kind of money? I have no idea, said Jiraiya. Have you called the meeting yet? The meeting will be happening in 3 days. I will inform them about everything. As Jiraiya nodded, Minato, you know that this will cause war, right? And we have to take it to him. Naruto has achieved a level of power that was able to bring down my guy. Even as a Sannin, I can say, at that level, I was no match for a guy. But Naruto took him down. And yet still Naruto wasn't even using his Colossal Susanoo that much. Imagine if he turned all of that on Konoha. I know, said Minato. It's a very difficult thing to think about. I don't see any way out of this without fighting, said Minato. I know, said Jiraiya. I don't see any way of bringing him back. Mito and Hirumi has always held on a hope for bringing back their brother, Jiraiya said. But you and I both know. Kushina is even starting to accept it. There is no hope for him right now. There is nothing that can get him back in Konoha. And even if we did, the politics will be too much. The other villages that he has crossed will be calling for his head. I know, said Minato. Time skip. A day later, Maid Hirumi was currently in her house. As she was sitting down in her bed, the news has called for another meeting in 2 days. He hasn't seen Naruto since the last time he came here. and saying that he has all the cards in his favor and he will work for her from now on, as she cursed that man so much. But there's nothing she can do about it. She signed a deal with the devil and now she was paying for it. She should have just told the others the first day it happened. But no, she went along with it. And now if she does something about it, her reputation and her village will be outed out of the 5 Kages, as she will be known as the one who sided with the traitor. As she lied down in bed, there was a lot on her mind right now. "It seems like you're thinking a lot these days," said a voice. As she jumped a bit startled. As she cursed herself for being startled. That is what he always does, just appear without warning. "Now look here," she said, as she froze. She saw him sitting in a chair, which he usually sit down in. But this wasn't the same. He wasn't the same. Who are you?" she said. "Can't you recognize me?" "I know I look a bit different, but come on, don't tell me you don't recognize me," he said. What happened to you?" "I have went through some changes recently," Naruto said. "What kind of changes?" she asked. "It seems like the Hokage hasn't revealed anything yet." "There will be a meeting soon. Perhaps then he will tell you all what happened. Recently, I become the new host of the Jubi." As she looked at him shocked. "So, you achieved what you wanted," she said to him. "What about Madara?" she asked. "Madara is no longer with us." What do you mean by that?" she asked him. "I killed him." As she narrowed her eyes at him. "Didn't you tell us that he was the one who trained you when you arrived at that meeting? Why would you kill someone who helped you out? Are you so easy to slaughter your allies?" "It's not that. He wanted to test himself against me. Our battle could not end in peace and harmony. One of us had to die. And as you can see, I'm still standing." "So what now?" she said to him. "You have changed. You have turned to something different. Are you even human anymore?" "Well, 2 horns coming from my head. I cannot say," Naruto said. "But I still have emotions, you know. You have achieved what you wanted for so long, this power." And I asked again, "What now?" she said. "What do you think I'm gonna do?" he asked her. "I don't know," she said. "Taking over the villages? Trying to kill everyone?" "Do you take me for some psychopath?" Naruto asked. As he got up. "I once told you recently that I am in charge of Kiri, right?" She clenched her fists. "Yes, you did," she said. "I don't want there to be any hostilities between us." She was taken aback by that. "What do you mean?" she asked him. "I don't want you to hate me while working for me." "And who said that I'll be working for you?" she said. As a small smirk came to his lips. "I already told you. Kiri belongs to me. But I don't want you to have so much resentment towards me to try and do something that will get you killed." "And what do you mean by that?" she asked. "My patient has been running thin with humans. I can feel it. I don't know what will happen if you try to do something that crosses me. My actions might cause some unseen side effects by tearing this village in half," Naruto said, "and raining down hell on it." As she gulped, as she looked at him. "That is why I don't want any hostility between us," Naruto said. "I want you to accept that you're working for me now. Because if you don't and try to do something, anything that will cause any mood swings in my mind, I'm afraid I can't be held for my actions. Are you saying that if I try to do something against you, you're going to kill me and everyone here?" "Perhaps," Naruto said. "But everything should be fine as long as you respect what I have to say and do as you're told." She clenched her fist so tight, she almost nearly draw blood from her palms. Here he was, this man, ordered her around. She was a Mizukage. Why does she have to listen to him in the first place? As she clenched her fist, Naruto stepped forward. You're probably thinking right now, you're going to try and prove me wrong to show me that you're the leader of this village. Don't. As he then turned his back, I will be attending the meeting in 2 days. How do you know that? She asked. I have my sources, he said, as he turned his back and started to walk away. Wait, she said to him as he stopped. What is it? He asked. As long as I follow these rules, you will make sure that no harm comes to Kiri, right? You have my word, Naruto said. She then sat down. Fine. I'll follow your rules, she said to him, as long as no harm comes to my people or my village. That's acceptable, Naruto said. And with that, he vanished. But guys, it'll be ending this episode right here. If you want the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, cheers to all of your friends in your social media platform. But for now, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.